Hello, we're Bonnie and Greg Dixon with Storyvan TV, and we're here with Gary Smith. And Bonnie, you can just introduce Gary here.
We're so thrilled to meet and introduce you to Gary Smith. He is an artist, an entrepreneur, and an activist. And today we're going to explore those, and then we will go into some questions. So, Gary, welcome to Storyvan TV. I know you're in sunny Southern California, as we are at this very moment in time, and share with us, what is it like to be so talented with artists, entrepreneur, activists? First, I want to hear what kind of art you do.
Yes, so talented. I don't know if I can live up to that definition quite yet, but I have a background in acting. I grew up doing television and film, and I went to school for theater training. So that's where most of my artistic skills currently lie.
Oh, that's really exciting. Now, with acting, that is a skill that can really help with you in so many areas.
Mhm.
And what drew you to that? Were you in high school then, or when did you actually take your training?
Um, I was introduced. I did a play in kindergarten, and so that kind of got some family members aware of a bit of talent. Will pat myself slightly on the back there. At least kindergarten me. A little bit of talent or interest in that area, and then there was a pro scout event where basically it's just a bunch of people in front of several agents. My aunt brought me to one. I ended up getting an agent, and then very quickly we were thrown into the world of acting. So I started before any training or anything like that. I just started auditioning for commercials and print ads and things. And so to supplement my education, at first we would go up to New York and take classes like on camera. But then after going from Maryland to New York multiple times in a month, my mom realized that if she put me in an arts high school, she wouldn't have to keep taking me to New York. So I went to an arts high school in Baltimore School for the Arts, where I started theater training specifically. And then I continued my education at Adelphi University in New York, where I also was a theater and Spanish double major.
Well, that is so exciting. And for yourself growing up, then that was just part of your life.
Yes, I was extremely fortunate and blessed to have had the parents that I had. Not only were they taking me up on the whim of an audition, because keep in mind, some of these auditions, if it was just a print ad, I would literally go up 3.5 hours, stand in front of a camera, smile, and they say, "Thank you very much, next." And that was the whole audition. So the fact that my parents were sacrificing what they were just to get me up there, that was an amazing thing that I was given and blessed with, and that I will
Mhm.
forever be grateful for.
Wow. And so that begs the question of, you had this training, but then something was calling to you to be an entrepreneur. And when did that all happen?
So I was flung aggressively into the entrepreneurship world, actually, first by getting the bug of activism. I was very involved during my college years, specifically the last two, in a lot of social justice work and things like that. So I was already I kind of had the bug a little bit while I was in school, and then I got recruited to Disneyland right after graduation. Came out to California, and I knew that no longer being in education meant that I didn't have some of the limitations or excuses I had been using for why I couldn't be more involved. And so I knew that I was dissatisfied with the world around me, and I wanted change. But I also knew that for that change to exist, I needed to be the change that I hoped to see. So that began the journey of creating my own artist coalition and diving headfirst into artistry and failing forward a lot from there.
So, who was your mentor? We all, as we're growing up, and I know your parents sound like they're very solid people behind you, but who sparked your interest in activism?
In activism, that is a great question. I don't even know who I would say would be a mentor, but who I definitely can credit. I was fortunate to have amazing people around me who were my age and were already politically involved, be it by the nature of what they were studying or just their personal interests. And so because of that, I was able to learn from them and be able to pick their brains a little bit. So it was definitely having a very strong peer group. I also spent a lot of time with nonprofits. I worked with a nonprofit called, it was formerly named A-Step, Artists Striving to End Poverty. They're rebranding now, but they were a class of Juilliard graduates who came together to start teaching and educating people and utilizing the arts. And I also had spent some time with the New York Theater Workshop, which does a lot of powerful pieces that also touch on social justice themes. They were the first theater to produce the very popular musical Rent. So I just was extreme. I always have to give a lot of gratitude up because of the synchronicity of the universe and God's blessings, to where I was put in the right places at the right times to learn from people much smarter than myself.
Oh, that is really interesting and exciting. So you have a very juicy life.
I agree.
Yeah. And within that, then you've even moved on to the entrepreneur part of you, which this all blends together, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so out of that, you've created a way to make a living other than just being a movie star or someone that, quote, very famous. It's almost like you're behind the scenes being that support system for people who want to be in the arts, who want to be activists, who want to make the change. How would you describe what you do as an entrepreneur?
Yes. So as an entrepreneur, I am focused on teaching people things I feel really should have been taught in schools. So the main three areas we focus on are money, business, and leadership. On the money side, we'll teach anything from personal finances, things like what are taxes? How does inflation work? What is good credit and bad credit? Good debt, bad debt? What do all these things mean? All the way up to more complex things like helping nonprofits with their finances or helping big businesses with corporate finances. And then on the business side of what we teach, that's more like business structuring and expansion, as well as how can someone put together a business plan, for example, or if they have one, how can they improve their business plan? And then the final area is leadership, and that's very focused on personal development. One of my driving factors, one of my big whys is impact. And I describe impact as requiring massive personal growth first, as well as significant contribution to the world. So on the personal growth side, we focus a lot on communication skills, as well as mental toughness, identity shifts, things of that nature. So those are really what we focus on when we're sitting down with individuals and working with them or their companies.
Wow. So the acting, what you just spoke really touched me. So mental toughness, you'd have to be pretty tough to be in acting, and just all those skills. So that kind of leads me to asking about authenticity in business, and whether in a sense, acting, are people acting in their businesses? Are they authentic in their businesses? And could you maybe differentiate for our audience what that's like? Because you know what it's really like to be an actor, as well as you know what it's like to be an authentic entrepreneur and activist and getting something done. So how do people know if they're actually acting or if they're actually being authentic?
I think that's a very powerful question, because a lot of times the sentiment is that you have to just fake it till you make it. That's something that I hear oftentimes. However, I don't believe in that. There is something very popular in personal development and business mindset adage of be, do, have. And so I've taken that and I say in my life, and what I try to do and teach others is to be more good so you can do more good, and then you can have more good. And it really starts with the being. I think it's so easy for us to look at somebody else's success and almost want to emulate what they're doing so that we can get that end result of their success. And while there's great value in copying the right cat, in seeing what somebody who's where you want to be, seeing what they did to get there, there is also the important foundational value of first tapping into who you truly are, because having that authenticity within yourself is going to, one, ring true when you're speaking with people, working with people, because people aren't dumb. They can feel when something's not right. They might not be able to articulate what it is, but I'm sure we've all heard somebody say, I don't know, my gut feeling. That right there is when we aren't being authentic to our true self. It's something I have had to work a lot on, coming from a background of artistry and now being flung into having my own business. It was very jarring in that I didn't have a vision of myself successful in my business. I had a clear vision of what I looked like successful in my artistry. So the first step I had to do was admit that I was kind of trying to be somebody else's thing of success. And I had to first, from that, point of discomfort and dissatisfaction, say, hey, this isn't really who I am. Let me tap back into who I am, reconnect there, find out what matters to me. What are my values? What are my driving factors, reasons why? What are the things that I really want to achieve? Not that people say I should achieve, but what is it that I'm truly passionate about? And I think when we tap into those foundational things, then from there, we're able to really connect in a more real and empowering way, because we're not trying to be somebody else. We can truly just be ourselves. And then the people that we connect with, that we've made a relationship with, we're not trying to maintain that relationship by continuing to be somebody else. We're able to maintain that relationship just being who we are, because they were attracted to who we were in the first place.
You have so much wisdom, and yeah, I can really feel that groundedness that you have, and to be able to teach. Now, when you work with people, do you like to work with individuals or with groups? Can you share a bit more about that? How you actually help people?
Yes. So I will work with anybody who's willing to put in work. I think it is very easy for us to want change, but it is less easy for us to make the change. I was listening to a sermon, and the reason I bring this up is because I appreciate the commentary of my wisdom, Bonnie, but that is far from the truth. I am just smart enough to know that I don't know anything, and I should probably learn from other people. So that is a big, big focus of what I do. But going back, I was listening to a sermon, and it was Edwin, his name is Erwin McManus, and he was talking about how God will speak, and when he speaks, his voice is going to shake up your life. And that shaking up, that dissatisfaction, and moving of everything that we have is such value, because we can't continue doing the same things and expect a different result. So what I look for in people is not that they are in specific need, as much as they have made it in themselves that they want to make that difference. I tell people all the time, there's a difference between somebody who needs what you're providing, the service your company, has, and people who want it. Just because somebody needs a new roof, if they don't want a new roof, you're going to be spending your time and not necessarily being servant to them or yourself. And if you're not able to serve yourself, you can't take care of your family, can't take care of your community and all that stuff. So got to fill your cup first. So when I sit with individuals, I tell them all the time, you can come to any class you want, take in all the information, they're free and available for people. I'd love for you to learn. But if you want to actually work with either myself or any one of our educators, the prerequisite is you must be willing to work. If you are only looking for results, but you want those results while living exactly the same way as you currently are, then we're probably not a good fit for you, because we're going to end up wanting those results for you as well. It's going to become our passion. We're going to want your goals to happen as well. But then if you don't make those changes, there's nothing we can do to get you there. So I always say the first prerequisite is that somebody is willing to make the changes towards what they want.
So just in listening to this offering that you do for people to be your servant to help people get what they want or what they think they want, it sounds like they could taste a little bit of what you do with some free classes. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, we do a slew of classes, specifically on financial literacy, and then they'll just be in a rotation. We're finalizing the schedule either today or tomorrow. Today's Tuesday, tomorrow, Wednesday. So we'll finalize next month's schedule tomorrow, and we'll just basically go through our Rolodex of classes. So 1 week will be for college planning, 1 week will be tax-free retirement, 1 week will be credit. We just kind of look at what we've been getting requests for and kind of just throw them out there like that. And then on the business or leadership side, those are specific things that we'll create for, corporation will bring us in and they'll say, hey, we're having some challenges with our communication. Can we do a communication class? Or somebody can make a specific request. We don't have those classes in rotation.
Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite person to work with other than they want to do that? Do you like to work with young men? Do you like to work with just that entrepreneurial spirit kind of a person? Is there a favorite that you love to work with?
A favorite I love to work with. I like crazy people who are crazy like me, who make me feel almost normal. I like people who just, they dream so big about making a change in this world that, it kind of scares other people. I love those people who want to change the world are the ones who do change the world. And so I love being around people who I'm like, okay, tell me, what is it you're going for? And they're like, okay, this is going to sound crazy. Like I just spoke with a gentleman and he wants to start a biotech company. I didn't know this, but the minimum for starting a biotech is like $10 billion or something crazy. And then apparently only 1% of them continue or make it. And I was like, good. That's exactly what you should be going for, because somebody's got to be the 1%. Yeah. So why not go after it? I love that, you have a dream for that. So people who are crazy, or you don't have to be crazy for this next one, but if you just genuinely want to do good for people, I love people who have a heart for doing the right thing. So those, the two parts that exist in me are, if it's doing good for people, as long as it's legal, moral, and ethical, I'll do whatever it takes. So it's a lot of craziness, but with a passion for helping people.
That's great.
This is so exciting. So to get a hold of you, Gary, we have the ticker tape running along the bottom here. Your LinkedIn profile, they can get a hold of you there and reach out to you through LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. And then also you have an email there that's pretty cute. Gary Smith 23. Does that mean that's your age? I'm just curious.
Gary B. Smith as in victory.
See, caught it there. Yeah. Make sure so you don't do what I just did. Gary V. Smith 23 at gmail.com. There's a phone number 443-867-7421. Of course, you can go to Gary's LinkedIn website. Or the link there, LinkedIn. Yes. And LinkedIn is a wonderful place because you'll get to see Gary and see some more things that he's up to there. And I'm going to encourage everyone that's listening to this to make sure to reach out to Gary. Just talking with him today, I'm excited to go out there and maybe run up the mountain or something. It's pretty.
Well, if you do, let's make sure that those burnt off calories count for me.
Okay. Oh yeah. We need a little bit of that. We've been walking in the desert and it's flat here.
I know. Yeah. No name.
It's all hills here.
Yes, indeed. It has been just genuinely wonderful to meet someone in today's day and age that's happy, that's doing what they want to do, and not only that, is willing to help other people, because it takes a village for all of us to lift each other up, to feed each other across the table when there may not be enough. But if we feed each other, then it all will come together. We need you, Gary, in this day and age to be that bright light for so many, because sometimes if you sit there and watch the news, you can just go, oh, the world's falling apart. But in your world, in our world, the world is a wonderful place if you allow it to be a wonderful place.
1000%. I love that. That is so beautifully spoken and so true to what I believe.
Mm-hmm. Well, this has been just really
That's been
fun.
absolutely fabulous. Thank you.
Yes, we
for
so
joining us.
appreciate you, Gary.
Yeah.
Everyone, make sure to reach out to him, even just to say hi.
Yes, I love highs.
Look forward to when you get anything else coming up, make sure to let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll let our audience know
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay,
Thank
make
you
sure
for
to have
having
a healthy, wealthy day, and be blessed.
me. Thank
Okay.
you. You as well.
Thank you.